They told me to forgive my brother for getting my wife pregnant. So I took my daughter, walked out the door without a word, and never looked back. I'm a civil engineer. I spend my days designing bridges, water systems, and structures that must carry enormous weight without ever collapsing. I understand load-bearing capacity, stress points, and the exact moment something is about to break. I should have seen this coming. My parents called me 3 days ago asking if I could come by Saturday afternoon. Family meeting, my mom, Judith, said. Important. My wife, Alora, had been quiet all week, spending extra time at my parents' place. Said she was helping them organize the garage. I believed her because why wouldn't I? Saturday came. I brought our daughter, Isla, because my parents specifically asked. She's 6, gap-toothed, obsessed with dinosaurs. She bounced into their living room and went straight for the toy box they keep for her visits. That's when I knew something was wrong. My younger brother, Rowan, was already there. Rowan doesn't do family meetings. Rowan does whatever Rowan wants, and everyone just adjusts around him. Has since we were kids. I got good grades, he got second chances. I worked 2 jobs through college, he got rent paid while he found himself. The golden child who never had to shine too bright because everyone else dimmed their lights for him. He wouldn't look at me when I walked in. My dad, Warren, sat at the head of their oak dining table. The same table where I'd done homework, eaten birthday dinners, announced my engagement to Alora 8 years ago. Judith sat beside him. Alora took the chair across from me. Nobody was smiling. Sit down, son, Warren said. I sat. Isla's voice carried from the living room, narrating some adventure with plastic dinosaurs. That innocent soundtrack made everything worse. Warren slid a piece of paper across the table. Clinical. Typed. Official letterhead from some lab I'd never heard of. DNA test results. I read it twice. 3 times. The words didn't change. Probability of paternity. 99.97% alleged father, Rowan Hayes, my last name, his 2, mother, Alora Hayes, my wife. Gestational age, 8 weeks. My hands didn't shake, that's the weird part. I just sat there reading that paper like it was a project spec I needed to review. Detached. Analytical. We wanted to handle this as a family. Judith said, her voice had that careful tone she uses when she's trying to keep things calm. Like I was the problem that needed managing. I looked at Alora. She was crying, but it felt performative. Like she'd rehearsed this. It just happened. She whispered. We didn't mean. How long? My voice came out flat. Rowan finally spoke. Does it matter? Yeah. It mattered. But nobody answered. Warren cleared his throat. Look, this is a mistake, a terrible mistake. But we're family. Families work through things. I almost laughed. Would have if Isla wasn't 20 feet away. These things happen. Judith added, reaching across the table like she might touch my hand. I pulled back. You've always been the responsible one. The steady one. We need you to be the bigger man here. The bigger man. I looked around that table. At my parents who raised me to believe in accountability and consequences, apparently only when it applied to me. At my brother who drifted through life taking whatever he wanted because someone always cleaned up after him. At my wife who'd shared my bed, my home, my life, and decided my brother was worth risking it all. Think about legacy. Warren said. Think about Isla. She doesn't need to grow up watching her family tear itself apart over this. Legacy, that word hung there. I thought about legacy. About what Isla would learn watching this play out. About what message we'd send if we all just swallowed this and pretended it was fine. If I played the bigger man and absorbed their betrayal so everyone else could feel better. From the living room, Dad, come see. T-Rex is fighting Triceratops. Isla's voice, pure, untouched by any of this poison. I stood up. Everyone tensed, waiting for the explosion, the yelling, the drama that would give them something to react to manage, to spin. I didn't give them that. I looked at each of them once. Warren. Judith. Rowan. Alora. Then I said one word. Okay. I walked into the living room, scooped up Isla mid-dinosaur battle, grabbed her backpack from the hallway. Where are you going? Alora's voice cracked behind me. I didn't answer, just held my daughter's hand and walked out the front door. Behind me, silence. Complete, suffocating silence. Isla chattered in her car seat about the dinosaurs she didn't get to finish playing with. I drove home on autopilot, making the appropriate dad noises while my brain ran calculations. Load-bearing capacity. Stress points. Breaking points. I just found mine. Isla wanted chicken nuggets for dinner, so I made chicken nuggets. That's what you do. You keep their world normal while yours is imploding. You make the dinosaur-shaped ones, not the regular ones. You cut up apple slices. You pour milk in the purple cup, not the blue one, because the blue one is for breakfast. She told me at school. Something about a class hamster named Professor Whiskers. I nodded in all the right places, asked follow-up questions, laughed when she did the voice. None of it registered. Bath time. 2 chapters of her current book, tucked in with her stuffed brontosaurus. Love you, Dad. Love you, too, kiddo. Night light on. Door cracked. Then I walked downstairs and stopped being a dad for a minute. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop and a notepad. The house was quiet except for the refrigerator hum. Alora's coffee mug sat in the dish rack. Her book on the counter. Her whole life woven into this house like she belonged here. She didn't. Not anymore. I opened our bank account. Joint savings, $94,316. Years of careful planning. Down payment fund for a bigger house. Isla's future college fund. The safety net we'd built together while she was apparently building something else with my brother. I transferred $39,158 to a new account I opened in under 10 minutes. Exactly half. Took screenshots of everything. Dated. Time-stamped. Clean. My phone said 11:49 p.m. I googled divorce attorney near me. Found a guy named Denzel Hargrove. 3 decades of experience. Profile said he worked late. Consultations available. I called. He answered on the 3rd ring. This better be good, he said. Not hostile. Just honest. My wife's pregnant with my brother's baby. DNA confirmed. I need emergency custody of my daughter and I need the filing done Monday. Silence. Then, how old's your daughter? 6. And you're certain about the paternity? Lab results in hand. Meet me at my office tomorrow. 9 a.m. Bring everything. He hung up. I went upstairs. Pulled 2 suitcases from the closet. Packed them methodically. Isla's favorite clothes. Her school stuff. Important documents from the file cabinet. Birth certificates. Medical records. Custody papers from when we'd drawn up wills years ago naming each other as guardians. Funny how that paperwork aged. I stood in my closet looking at Alora's side. Her dresses. Her shoes organized by color. The woman who color-coded her shoe rack had apparently been fine with chaos everywhere else. I didn't touch any of it. My work laptop sat on the desk. I opened my email, scrolled back 3 months, found it. Subject. Relocation opportunity. Asheville office. I'd turned it down. Director-level position. Better pay. Alora had said she didn't want to leave her family. Our life was here. Her design clients. My parents. Everything. Her family. Right. I drafted a response. Didn't send it. Not yet. Set my alarm for 6 a.m. Sunday morning I dropped Isla at my college buddy Felix's place for a playdate with his kids. Told him I had work stuff to handle. He didn't question it. By noon I'd met with Hargrove. By 2 p.m., I had a strategy. Emergency custody is hard, he said, spreading documents across his desk. But adultery with a family member, confirmed paternity of affair partner's child, unstable household environment, that's a slam dunk. Judge will grant temporary custody same day we file. How fast can you move? Filing goes in Monday morning. She'll be served by Tuesday. How fast can you move? I thought about Isla. About school pickups and bedtime routines and soccer practice. About the only innocent person in this mess. As fast as I need to. Monday I was the first parent in the drop-off line at Isla's school. Kissed her forehead. Told her I'd pick her up at 3 p.m. She skipped toward the building, backpack bouncing. By 10 a.m., the divorce petition was filed. Emergency custody motion attached. Genetic testing results submitted. Adultery cited with specificity. By noon I was in HR. That Asheville position, I said, still available? The director pulled up the posting. Filled it internally. But actually, she scrolled through something on her screen. We just opened a senior role there. Similar scope. Better title. You interested? When can I start? Give us 2 weeks to process the transfer. 3. I have some things to finalize here. She smiled. Done. I shook her hand and walked out with a 35% raise and a 300-mile buffer between my daughter and this catastrophe. Friday afternoon, I loaded both suitcases into my trunk. Isla's school backup supplies. The important stuff. My work laptop bag. Everything that mattered fit in one car. I was in the kitchen double-checking I hadn't forgotten anything when I heard it. A key in the front door. Alora. She'd been staying at my parents' place all week. I knew she would come eventually. They all thought I needed time to process. To cool down. To eventually fold like I always had when family pressure mounted. The door opened. I heard her footsteps in the entryway. Hesitant. Testing. Hello? Her voice cracked. Are you home? I walked out from the kitchen. She froze when she saw me. I watched her eyes scan the room, looking for signs of normalcy. Finding none. We need to talk, she said. I checked my watch. Isla's playdate ended in an hour. Yeah, I said. We do. She looked different. Smaller somehow. Or maybe I'd just stopped seeing her the way I used to. I know you're hurt, Alora started. She took a step into the living room. But we need to figure out how to handle this. For Isla's sake. That's when she noticed. The half-empty bookshelf. The gaps where my stuff used to be. Her eyes went to the hallway closet. Door open, my jacket's gone. What did you do? Her voice shifted. Not apologetic anymore. Defensive. Divorce papers were filed Monday, I said. Flat. Factual. You'll be served tomorrow. I have Isla. The color drained from her face. What? Emergency custody. Already granted. You can't. She moved toward me, hands up like she might grab my arms. I stepped back. She caught herself. You can't just take her. She's my daughter. Was that a consideration when you were sleeping with my brother? She flinched. Good. This is insane, she said, voice rising. You can't just run off with our child because you're upset. I'm not upset. And that was true. Upset implied emotion. I felt nothing looking at her. I'm done. There's a difference. Her eyes filled with tears. The same tears from the oak table. Please. We can work through this. Couples therapy. Whatever you need. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices. For months. It wasn't. She stopped. Recalculated. Went for a different angle. Where are you even going? You can't just disappear. The court won't allow it. Asheville. Work transfer. Already approved. Judge signed off on the relocation Friday. I watched her process that. The speed. The planning. The fact that I'd moved through this like a project timeline while she'd been waiting for me to break down. You've known for a week, she said slowly. You've been planning this whole time? Yes. That's cruel. I almost laughed. Cruel is betraying your husband with his brother. This is logistics. My phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Then again. And again. I glanced at the screen. Rowan. 3 texts in 10 seconds. I could see the preview of the first one. Bro. Please just I didn't read the rest. Alora saw me looking. He's worried about you. He should be worried about himself. Another buzz. A call this time. My dad's number. I let it ring out. They just want to talk, Alora said. Your family. They care about you. They care about managing this mess. Not the same thing. The phone rang again immediately. Warren. Persistent. I picked up. Put it on speaker. Son. My dad's voice filled the kitchen. Relief. Like I'd finally come to my senses. Son. Thank God. Listen. You're being rash. Let's sit down again. Talk this through properly. I was the bigger man, I said. I said, okay, remember? I'm okay with all of this. That's not what I'm okay with never seeing any of you again. I hung up. Alora stared at me. You don't mean that. I really do. She tried for another 20 minutes. Tears. Anger. Bargaining. She offered therapy. Offered to cut off contact with Rowan. Offered to move to Asheville. Too. If that's what it took. I said no to all of it. When she finally left, she slammed the door. Her car peeled out of the driveway. My phone didn't stop for the next 2 hours. Rowan. Warren. Judith. 3 of Alora's friends. A cousin I hadn't talked to in 5 years. I answered none of them. 2 weeks later, the U-Haul was loaded. Not much in it. Most of the furniture was staying, part of the settlement. I took what mattered. Isla's bed. My desk. Kitchen stuff. Photos of just me and Isla. The house looked hollow. Isla sat in the front seat of my truck. Legs swinging. Why are we moving, Dad? I'd practiced this answer. New adventure, sweetheart. New house with a big backyard. You're going to love it. Will Mom come visit? Maybe sometime. She thought about that. Then, can I get a tire swing? Absolutely. She grinned. Crisis averted. I took one last look at the subdivision. 11 years I'd lived in this neighborhood. Barbecues with neighbors, block parties, the tree I'd planted when Isla was born. None of it mattered anymore. I pulled out of the driveway. Didn't look in the rearview mirror. 6 hours later we crossed into Asheville. The rental house was small but solid. Fenced yard, good school district, fresh start. I carried Isla inside. She'd fallen asleep in the last hour. Put her in her new room. Unpacked her stuffed animal. Made it feel familiar. My phone was on the kitchen counter where I'd left it. 18 missed calls. 57 text messages. I stood there looking at the notifications. Warren, Judith, Rowan, Alora, extended family members, even Felix asking if I was okay. The screen lit up again. Another call. Rowan. I opened my phone settings. Started with Alora's number. Blocked. Then Rowan. Blocked. Warren. Blocked. Judith. Blocked. One by one. Methodical. Final, my cousin, my aunt, two of Alora's friends who'd apparently decided this was their business. Blocked. 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 The notifications disappeared. The silence was immediate. Complete. I set the phone down and looked around my new kitchen. Empty counters. No history. No ghosts. Just space for whatever came next. The first week was hell. Not because of regret. Because of logistics. New job orientation. School registration. Finding a pediatrician. Buying a lawnmower because the rental came with a yard and apparently I was a homeowner now and everything but name. Isla cried the second night. Said she missed her room. Missed her friends. Asked when we were going back. I sat on the edge of her bed. This is home now, kiddo. But we'll make it better than before. Promise. She didn't believe me, but she was 6. She'd adapt. Kids are better at that than adults. By week 3, she'd stopped asking about going back. By week 6, she brought home a drawing from school. 2 stick figures labeled me and Quincy, her new best friend, a kid with a gap-toothed smile who apparently also loved dinosaurs. Crisis managed. Work was easier, new office, same skill set. I kept my head down, delivered clean project specs, didn't engage in office politics. My boss noticed. You're efficient, she said during my first month review. Different from the last guy we had in this role. He needed constant direction. I'd just do the work. She smiled. Keep doing that. Meanwhile, Hargrove handled the divorce like a surgeon. Called every 2 weeks with updates. I let them go to voicemail half the time, called back when Isla was at school. Alora's attorney is pushing back, he said in early October. Wants the house outright. Wants summers with Isla. Wants alimony. Counter? House sells, you split proceeds. She gets standard visitation if she relocates within 50 miles of you. No alimony due to adultery clause. File it. She won't take it well. Not my problem. He chuckled. You're my favorite kind of client. No drama. Just decisions. The judge sided with us on everything that mattered. Alora's attorney tried to paint me as vindictive, isolating Isla from her mother. Hargrove submitted evidence Alora had made zero effort to relocate, zero consistent video calls, zero involvement in Isla's new life. Hard to claim you want custody when you won't drive 6 hours. My email inbox was a different story. I'd made the mistake of not blocking my parents' email addresses, just their numbers. Judith's message came on a Tuesday. Subject line: please read this. I almost deleted it. But Isla was at soccer practice and I had 20 minutes to destroy, so I opened it. You're punishing your daughter by taking her from her mother. This is cruel. Rowan made a mistake. Alora made a mistake. But Isla shouldn't suffer for adult problem. This isn't who you are. You were raised better than this. Family forgives. Family endures. Call me. Please. I read it once. Felt nothing. Deleted it. Blocked her email. 2. Rowan tried a different tactic. New Instagram account, username I didn't recognize, message request waiting when I checked my phone after work. The baby's coming soon. Don't you even care? We're still brothers. Nothing changes that. I stared at it for a full minute. Then typed back, I care that my daughter has stability. Your consequences aren't my problem. Blocked the account. Deleted Instagram entirely an hour later. Didn't need it. November brought cold weather and a career shift. The Civic Center project I'd been leading wrapped up 2 weeks early. Under budget. Council members sent commendations. My boss called me into her office on a Friday. Senior project lead position opened up, she said. You interested? What's the scope? Oversight on regional infrastructure. 4 major projects simultaneously. Team of 6 reports to you. Salary? She slid a paper across the desk. 40% increase. I took it. Isla's soccer season ended with a playoff win. I'd started as assistant coach in September, mostly just helping with drills. By November, the head coach moved for work and I took over. We weren't great, but the kids had fun. After the final game, I took Isla for ice cream. Local place near our house. She ordered mint chip in a waffle cone. Got it all over her face. Dad? She said between licks. Yeah? I like it here. Are we staying forever? I looked at her, really looked. She'd grown an inch since we moved, lost another tooth, made friends, joined a team, built a whole life in 3 months that had nothing to do with the wreckage we'd left behind. Yeah. Kiddo. We're staying. She beamed. Good. Quincy invited me to her birthday party next month and I said I'd come. Then you'll be there. That was the moment. Right there in a small town shop with my daughter's face covered in mint chocolate chip. That was when I knew I'd won. Not because I destroyed them, because I'd built something better. The mail came the next afternoon while I was making dinner. Isla was doing homework at the kitchen table. I grabbed the stack from the box without looking. Bills, junk, then a thick manila envelope. Law office return address. I opened it. House sale documents, finalized, settlement check inside, $187,000. Signed, sealed, done. Clipped to the top was a handwritten note on Alora's attorney's letterhead. Client requests one phone call. She's desperate. Please consider. I stood there holding it. Isla looked up from her math worksheet. What's that? Nothing important, I said. I meant it. I deposited the check the next morning. Didn't tell anyone. Didn't celebrate. It was just money from a house that stopped being home the moment I saw those DNA results. I used part of it for a down payment. Bought the rental outright in January. 3 bedrooms, fenced yard, 10-minute drive from Isla's school. The mortgage was half what I'd been paying before. First thing I did was install a swing set. Took me a full Saturday, Isla handing me bolts and screws like a tiny construction foreman. When it was done, she tested it immediately. Pumped her legs until she was flying, laughing so hard she couldn't breathe. I stood there watching her and thought, this is what winning looks like. Her room came next. She picked teal for the walls. We spent a weekend painting together, getting more on ourselves than the walls. I built her bookshelves, filled them with new books and old favorites we'd packed from before. She never mentioned her old room. The divorce decree arrived in February. Final, executed. Hargrove's email was short. Clean break. She gets supervised visitation if she relocates within 50 miles. She won't. You're free. He was right. Alora never moved. Never filed for modification. The supervised visitation clause might as well have been written in invisible ink. Isla didn't ask about her anymore. March brought baseball season and a new position. Senior project lead, officially. I had 6 people reporting to me, oversight on 4 major builds across the region. The salary bump was substantial. Enough that I started a real college fund for Isla. The kind that would actually matter in 12 years. My phone stayed quiet. I'd upgraded to a new number in December, kept the old one active just to see. The blocked call log on the old phone climbed past 300 attempts. I checked it once a month out of morbid curiosity, then ignored it. The new number went to exactly 7 people. Hargrove, my boss, Isla's school, her pediatrician, Quincy's mom, and Felix. Felix texted in April. Your brother's baby was born. Thought you should know. I was at Isla's soccer practice when it came through. I read it twice, then typed back. Thanks. Not my concern. He responded immediately. Fair enough. Your family's asking about you. What should I say? Nothing. Please don't give them information. Understood. You doing okay? Better than okay, and I was. The guy asking casual questions about my disaster of a family felt like a stranger describing someone else's life. He didn't mention them again. Stopped reaching out entirely by May. I didn't follow up. Some connections weren't worth maintaining. I tried dating. Went out with a woman from the civic planning office in March. Nice enough. Asked about Isla's mom on the second date. I gave her the simplified version. Not in the picture. Complicated situation. She didn't push, but I could see the calculations happening behind her eyes. Single dad. Baggage. Drama. There wasn't a third date. Another woman in April. Set up by a coworker. Made it 4 dates before she asked if Isla's mom was in the picture long term. No. Does she want to be? Doesn't matter what she wants. That ended it. I wasn't bothered. Dating felt like an optional extra. Isla was the priority. Everything else was just noise. Soccer became the constant. I'd taken over as head coach in the fall. Kept the role through spring season. We weren't championship material, but the kids worked hard. Isla played forward, scrappy and fearless. Late April, playoff game. Tied 2-2 with 4 minutes left. Isla got the ball at midfield. Drove it forward. Defender came at her. She cut left. Another defender. She cut right. 20 yards out now. 15. She shot. Upper corner. Goalie didn't even move. 3-2. The whistle blew 30 seconds later. Game over. Isla sprinted toward me, arms up, gap-toothed smile splitting her face. I caught her, lifted her up, and for the first time since that oak table, felt something I'd almost forgotten. Pure, uncomplicated happiness. Did you see, Dad? Did you see? I saw, kiddo. That was perfect. She hugged my neck. The other kids mobbed us. Parents cheering. Quincy's mom taking pictures. Normal. Healthy. Good. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. Isla was saying something about ice cream. The team was chanting her name, and somewhere 300 miles away, people who used to matter were probably still calling numbers that didn't reach me anymore. I set Isla down. She ran back to her teammates. I pulled out my phone. Blocked contact attempted to call. I looked at the notification for exactly 2 seconds. Then deleted it without checking who it was. Didn't matter. Nothing from that life mattered anymore. 1 year. 365 days since I walked out of my parents' house with Isla's hand in mine. I woke up that Saturday to her jumping on my bed. Dad. Dad. It's my birthday. 7 years old. How did that happen? Happy birthday, kiddo. I pulled her into a hug. Pancakes? With chocolate chips? Is there any other kind? She giggled and raced downstairs. The Ushrusus Timur. I'd been out there at dawn hanging streamers, setting up tables, arranging the bounce house rental. 15 kids coming at noon. Quincy and her whole crew. Isla pressed her face against the kitchen window. It's perfect. It was. Simple. Normal. Hers. Work had been good to me. Really good. Regional engineering director as of March. 4 major projects. 12-person team. Salary that let me breathe without checking the bank account first. The respect from colleagues who knew me as the guy who delivered results, not the guy whose family imploded. Clean slate has value. My phone sat on the counter. I'd stopped checking the old number entirely. Let the contract expire in April. The new one stayed silent except for the people who mattered. Somewhere on a server, my old email account probably had hundreds of unread messages. I'd set up filters months ago. Anything from domains associated with my parents, Rowan, Alora, straight to trash, auto-delete after 30 days. I never saw them. Never wondered what they said. Felix had tried one last time in February. Single text, your parents hired PI to find you. Thought you should know. I'd stared at that message for a full minute, then blocked his number, too. Changed my phone number the following week. New email address. Forwarding address on file with the post office went to Hargrove's office only. Clean break means clean. The doorbell rang at 11:30. Paula, carrying a cake carrier and wearing a sundress. We'd been seeing each other since January. Met at a community center event for Isla's school. She worked there, coordinated youth programs. Patient, kind, good with Isla without trying too hard. She knew the basics of my situation. Didn't pry, respected the boundaries. You need help? She asked, setting the cake on the counter. I think I'm good. You want coffee? Always. We moved around the kitchen easily. Comfortable. No pressure. Just nice. Kids started arriving at noon. Chaos in the best way. Isla ran between groups, showing off the swing set, organizing relay races, absolutely thriving. I grilled burgers. Paula helped with drinks. Parents I'd gotten to know over the past year chatted by the fence. Quincy's mom asked about the soccer team schedule for fall. This was my life now. Backyard barbecues, parent small talk, watching my daughter blow out candles surrounded by friends who'd never heard of the wreckage we left behind. The party wound down by 4 p.m. Last kid picked up at 4:30. Isla crashed on the couch with her new books, exhausted and happy. Paula stayed to help clean up. We worked in comfortable silence, stacking chairs, collecting paper plates. Good day? She asked. Really good day. She kissed my cheek. I'm glad. After she left, I sat on the back porch while Isla napped inside. The yard was a mess of confetti and forgotten party favors. I'd clean it up later. I thought about that oak table. 1 year ago exactly. Warren's voice. Think about legacy. I had. My daughter had spent her 7th birthday surrounded by friends in a house that was actually ours, with a father who showed up every single day. No drama, no betrayal, no negotiating her future like a bargaining chip. That was legacy. My phone buzzed. I almost ignored it, then saw it was Hargrove. Alora's attorney officially withdrew visitation petition. She's not pursuing further contact. Case closed. I typed back, thanks. Set the phone down, looked at the swing set swaying slightly in the breeze. They'd wanted me to forgive so they could sleep at night, so they could tell themselves they'd fixed it. So the family could go back to pretending everything was fine. I chose something better. I chose to win. Not through revenge. Not through destruction. Through absence. Through building a life so complete, so stable, so entirely separate from them that their chaos couldn't touch it. Alora was probably still at my parents' house. Rowan probably still working whatever job Warren gave him out of obligation. The baby, River, Felix had mentioned once, probably growing up surrounded by people who specialized in excuses instead of accountability. None of it was my problem. Not anymore, not ever again. Monday morning I dropped Isla at school. She hugged me at the curb. Love you, Dad? Pick me up after? Always. Kiddo. She ran toward the building. Backpack bouncing, ponytail swinging. Stopped to wave once before disappearing inside. I drove to work with the radio on. Coffee in the cup holder. Phone silent in my pocket. No ghosts. No what ifs. No looking back. They'd wanted forgiveness. I'd wanted peace. Turns out, you don't need their permission to choose yourself. You just need to be willing to walk away and mean it. I never looked back, and I never will. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.